Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight there is lots to negotiate about. So, according to recent reports, Manchester United want to make big three signings in the summer. Now, reportedly, the players that we do want to recommend in the summer transfer window are Jack Grralish from Aston Villa, Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund, and Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. Now, them three players are going to cost us probably around £200 million or something like that. Well, in the £200 million range, because Jadon Sancho is going to cost us at least £100 million. Jack Grralish will probably cost us £50 million if Villa are to be relegated. If Villa, were to survive relegation, then probably would cost us around £70 million. And Jude Bellingham, would cost us in the £30-odd million range and that. So they're the three players that Manchester United are looking to sign in the summer. And like I mentioned to you before, Jadon Sancho and Jack Grralish are our priority targets and that. And like I've said to you, Jadon Sancho, is our number one priority target. We have been tracking the player for quite some time. Obviously, don't forget it confirmed last week that Jadon Sancho's preference would be a transfer back home to London, because Jadon Sancho, began his footballing career in London with Watford, and he was at London for several years with Watford was Jadon Sancho. And don't forget, Chelsea, are still in for Jadon Sancho. Don't forget it confirmed, that Borussia Dortmund are interested in Charlie Webster from, Chelsea. He's only the age of 16 and that. Dimitar Berbatov, by the way, has given his overarching view on Jadon Sancho, and he did say that Jadon Sancho should suggest his next move, but he does believe that it's too early for him to come to Manchester United, Jadon Sancho. Now, obviously, reports were coming out last week saying that we're planning to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer of 2021, which is next year. And also, Borussia Dortmund did actually, say that they expect Jadon Sancho to stay with them this summer and that. So, there you go. But obviously, it has confirmed that if Jadon Sancho is willing to come to Manchester United, we are willing to offer him the number 7, because we've had number 7 vacant for quite some time. And like I said to you before, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations and that, but our recent number 7s haven't been so good. And like Fabrizio Romano, who was an Italian journalist and he tends to be close to Man United, he came out earlier on this season. He said that Man United have been in negotiations with Jadon Sancho's agent, and we have also been working on his contract for quite some time. Now, it also confirmed that, we are not willing to meet Borussia Dortmund's valuation, so we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Jadon Sancho, because Borussia Dortmund have come out and said that they want at least £100 million for the player. Some reports indicated out saying that it could cost us around £120 million, could Jadon Sancho, But obviously, Jadon Sancho has revealed quite a few times that if he was to leave Borussia Dortmund, his preference would be a move to Manchester United. Now, like I've mentioned to you before, I outlined a couple of the reasons, why it would be beneficial for us to recommend Jadon Sancho in, is because, he's got a really, really good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford did reveal earlier on in the season, that he wants Jadon Sancho at Manchester United next season. And plus, Jadon Sancho, has got a good pedigree in the Premier League, because he is well proven in the Premier League. Like I mentioned to you, he's played in Manchester before, because he did endure 2 years with Man City. But the main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he didn't get any first team opportunities at Manchester City. Now, Jadon Sancho's currently into his 3rd season with Borussia Dortmund. I think I've got to say that Jadon Sancho's been a revelation since his arrival in Germany. I've got to make that admission. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund only paid around, was it £7 or £8 million from Man City back in 2017. So if Dortmund are to sell him, Borussia Dortmund will make a huge profit on the player and that. Obviously, Jadon Sancho still got a couple of years remaining on his contract with Dortmund. He's under contract with them until 2022 is the player, and he is only at the age of 20. Now, the main explanation why we didn't get Jadon Sancho last year is because, there has been a lot of uncertainty over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future at the football club, and also, too, we had no Champions League football to offer. Now, it has confirmed if Jadon Sancho is sold this summer, Manchester City will benefit from it. It did mention that they'll get around 15% of the transfer fee. But Jadon Sancho has had a long-running transfer saga. Now, Borussia Dortmund have had quite a few players on their agenda who could replace him. In that. Borussia Dortmund did say, though, they are not willing to stand in Jadon Sancho's way if he does want to leave. Now, Borussia Dortmund have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. Obviously, they let Aubameyang go, they let Pulisic go, they let Kagawa go, they let Mkhitaryan go, they also let Ilkay Gundogan go and that. So, there you go. And Jadon Sancho is predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United are in search for a right winger. But even due to the financial issues, that a lot of clubs have got, due to the coronavirus pandemic, Borussia Dortmund still remain ruthless over their valuation and that. Obviously, Real Madrid were in for him. Liverpool have also been in for Jadon Sancho. But I honestly do believe that he'd go well alongside the likes of Greenwood, Rashford and Anthony Martial and that in our attacking line. Don't forget we expressed our interest in Jadon Sancho back in 2017. Obviously, this was before he went to Borussia Dortmund. That. But yeah, so we are looking to get a deal finalised for Jadon Sancho and that. But it would dramatically improve, as he really, really would. Obviously, Jack Grralish, like I mentioned, I think a lot of Manchester United fans would like to see Jack Grralish come into the football club. Now, I think in our, was it 2-2 draw with Aston Villa earlier on in the season, obviously, Jack Grralish had scored a spectacular goal in that game. Now, I think after the game, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had a private conversation with Jack Grralish, probably, of a possible move to Manchester United this summer. Like I said, he's one of our priority targets. Paul Merson recently come out and he gave his verdict on it, and Paul Merson insists 100% Jack Grralish will leave Aston Villa if Aston Villa are relegated. This is what he said. I think even if Villa are to avoid relegation, I still don't think that'd be enough to convince Jack Grralish to stay with them, because Jack Grralish now does believe that he's far too good for Aston Villa. Now, like I said, we're hoping that we can get Jack Grralish for £50 million. We've already revealed that he is our preference over James Maddison, like I've mentioned to you before. And we've got a couple of main explanations, why he's our preference over James Maddison, because he is more versatile. He's a cheaper solution. And I think he was in a better vein of form before the football season got suspended. Now, Jack Grealish is predominantly an attacking midfielder, but he can also play as a winger, can Jack Grealish. I think for the vast majority of this season, he has been playing on the left wing. Now, don't forget, back in March, Jack Grealish had that incident with his Range Rover, his £8,000 Range Rover. And obviously, Jack Grealish had come out and made a public apology, reflecting on the incident. I think he also got fined £150,000 and that. But obviously, reflecting on the incident, there was doubts then about him coming to Manchester United, Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish has remained loyal to Aston Villa for several years. Well, up until this point, has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. He's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He was in their youth academy for quite some time. He's been in their senior squad since 2014, and since then he has become an integral part of their team. Jack Grealish has got a contract with Aston Villa until 2023 and that. But there you go. So we have been relentlessly linked with the player. It did say, we're looking to sign Jack Grealish, regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba. So whether Paul Pogba stays or whether Paul Pogba goes, we are still looking to sign Jack Grealish. And he is well proven in that in the Premier League. And he's flourished under Dean Smith's guidance because he was key for Villa getting promotion to the Premier League. He was also key for them getting to the Carabao Cup final this season. So there you go. Jude Bellingham, the news on him. We've been in for Jude Bellingham for the vast majority of this season. Don't forget, it was a while back now, Jude Bellingham had visited our Carrington training ground. Obviously, he held talks with Sir Alex Ferguson, and obviously, Ed Woodward had negotiations with Jude Bellingham's parents and that. And Jude Bellingham had given his own verdict, on the tour he had at Carrington, and I think, he was satisfied by it, to be quite honest with you. Now, like I've said to Jude Bellingham is probably going to cost us around £30 million, maybe even more than £30 million and that. Now, like I said, this has been his first season in the senior squad with Birmingham. And I've got to make an admission, he has been a revelation as Jude Bellingham because he's played persistently this season for Birmingham. He's going to be signing his professional contract for Birmingham, by the way, when he does turn 17. I think he's played around 30-odd games this season in all competitions. Don't forget he became the youngest player to ever represent Birmingham. He made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days, did the player. I think there's also been a few other clubs that have expressed their interest in Jude Bellingham and that. But yeah, we have been in for Bellingham. And like I said, he's 16 at the moment, he's still inexperienced. I think he does need at least another season in the Championship, to gain a bit more experience. But I think Birmingham are expected to let him leave in the summer and that. And I think he is predominantly a number 10. But some players that come from the Championship to the Premier League, do really, really well. Prime example, we got Daniel James from Swansea last summer for just £15 million. And look how much of a revelation he has been. And I'm surprised he's played as many games to the extent as he has done. I've got to say, I think Solskjaer's been overplaying Daniel James this season. So we're looking to make 3 big signings in the summer. And that's Grralish, Bellingham and Jadon Sancho and that. So that is the latest news on that. Now, obviously, you saw my video that I did earlier on today. I give you the news on Moussa Dembele from Lyon. Reportedly, this is stemming from the Mirror newspaper. I know the Mirror doesn't tend to be reliable, but it's also in a few other media outlets saying that Moussa Dembele does want to make a move to Manchester United this summer. Obviously, it came out the other week in the mainstream media saying that Moussa Dembele would find it hard to reject a move to Manchester United this summer. Obviously, it is Manchester United and Chelsea, that are tracking, the player in that. And Moussa Dembele is an out-and-out number 9. The Lyon president has come out and made an admission saying that Lyon may have to sell Moussa Dembele this summer. Obviously, he's going to cost us in the region of around £60 million, is Moussa Dembele. Obviously, this is now his second season in France with Lyon. Obviously, I think he scored around 42 goals in 88 games for Lyon in all competitions. He has got a contract with Lyon until 2023. Lyon did purchase him from Celtic back in the summer of 2018. And another beneficial thing about recommending him in is that he's played in the Premier League before as Moussa Dembele, because he began his footballing career with Fulham and that. And is he only the age of 23 or 24? But I think, it would be very, very good if Manchester United could recommend Moussa Dembele in and that. So he is one striker on our agenda. Obviously, the news on Odion Ighalo as well. There is a lot of uncertainty over Odion Ighalo's future. From my own perception, I think we're going to miss out on signing Odion Ighalo. So I don't think we're going to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer, because Shanghai Shenhua have come out and said that they want around £20 million, so we can get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer. But I don't think Manchester United are willing to pay it. Now, Odion Ighalo did reveal that he wants his loan extended at the football club. Obviously, his current loan spell at the football club does expire on the 31st of May. And obviously, Shanghai Shenhua have confirmed that, they expect Odion Ighalo to return to Shanghai Shenhua in time for the start of the Chinese Super League, which does start at the beginning of July, is it, if I am right. But at the moment, we have got Odion Ighalo out on loan. We've paid around £4 million to get him on loan, and we are paying like a third of his wages, because his wages at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 a week and that. And, there you go. And like I said, Odi Nagalo has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He has got 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club, and like I mentioned, he has been a very, very good cover-up to Marcus Rashford. It also recently mentioned that Newcastle have expressed their interest in him, but that's only if the Saudi Arabians do take over their football club. So we are facing a dilemma with Odi Nagalo. So the question is, which striker are Manchester United going to sign in that? So there you go. But I do expect Manchester United to make signings in the summer. Don't forget Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did recently come out. He did recently come out, did Solskjaer, and he's made a key transfer statement. And he did say, this summer transfer window will be completely different than that. And obviously, you had Ed Woodward coming out the other week saying, we will not do business as usual in the summer transfer market. So what he meant in that aspect is that, we're not willing to spend hundreds of millions of pounds on players. And he did rule out big transfers to Manchester United and that. This is what, Ed Woodward did currently do. So we're probably expected to make around 3 signings in the summer. Solskjaer did say anyway, he wants us to make around 3 or 4 signings this summer because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings this summer to become title contenders next season. Obviously, Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United like he did do last summer and that. And Solskjaer's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Obviously, Solskjaer's definitely going to be here next season. That's one thing I can assure, because he does deserve at least another season at the football club, and he does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows and that. Because I have made that admission, haven't I? I have seen improvements under Solskjaer. I think we've also improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. Where, what I mean is, he's got the players that he's wanted in, and, we have been a bit more sensible with our recruitment and that. Because obviously, so far Solskjaer has enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club. And obviously, he's recommended 5 players in and spent around £220 million. Didn't recommend anyone in his first transfer window. In the 2 previous windows, he's brought 5 players into the football club. Daniel James, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, they came in last summer. And Bruno Fernandes and Odi Nagalo came in January. And all the signings that he has recommended in so far have been very, very impressive. They really, really haven't that. So let's just put that into the equation. So and that. So there you go. So yeah, give him a bit more time at Manchester United, because we have been criticised, for several years, with us overpaying for players and that. Because I've got to make an admission, we have overpaid for players in recent years. We paid, 75 million for Lukaku, 89 million for Pogba, 50 million for Fred, 40 million pounds for Matic, 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire. Not only that, we've got players on substantial wages at the football club, so we have been criticised for that, and we've been criticised in general, for how poor our recruitment policy has been for the last 6 or 7 years or so and that. But I think, I can trust Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to, spend more money in transfer windows and that. And, I can really, really trust him. Obviously, we do need qualification for the Champions League for next season, to attract players to the elite level. So, there you go and that. But, like I said, I've also got to credit Solskjaer, because he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. Like I said, we saw Ashley Young leave this year after he enjoyed 8.5 years at Manchester United. We saw this, Valencia leave last summer after he enjoyed 10 years at the football club. We also saw Smalling and Rojo go out on loan. Obviously, Darmian left last summer, Herrera left last summer, Fellaini left in January 2019. He was the first player to leave under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. We paid just over £27 million for him under the David Moyes era. Lukaku left last summer, Alexis Sanchez went out on loan, Dean Henderson is out on loan at the moment, so Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended in. But like I've said to you before, this summer, Solskjaer won't be only focusing on the incomings, he'll also be focusing on the outgoings, because quite clearly there is still deadwood at the football club, because we are planning to get rid of around 5 or 6 players this summer. And I've already gone through with you, the players that I think Manchester United are going to get rid of in the summer and that. I've already gone through with you on that. But I'm gonna these positivity, to take from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure so far. Like I said, he's promoted the youth very, very well. Our record against the elite opposition this season has been very, very good. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions and that. So they are the positives you can take. Like I've said to you before, these still things that Solskjaer needs to work on. He still needs to work on his best formation. He hasn't worked out his best formation as yet, because he's been changing formation persistently this season. Maybe he does need to make a tactical change as well, does Solskjaer. His approach to the games against lower opposition also needs to improve. So there you go. Since Solskjaer got the job permanently, his record has been disastrous, so that's a negative. Also, too, we have enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. But despite that, Ed Woodward has said on numerous occasions this season he is willing to back Solskjaer, and he has assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. But the question is, can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer get us back being competitive? Can we win our 21st title under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era? Because, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. The last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season, so we have not won it for 7 years and that. Like I said, we get the right players in the summer, we can challenge for the league next season. I think we could win it maybe within the next 2 to 3 years, possibly. But don't forget, we are the most successful team in England because, we have won 20 titles, 13 of them Premier Leagues and that. And even though we have been inconsistent for the last 6 or 7 years, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world with a fantastic history, a fantastic fan base and that. Obviously, our success came under Alex Ferguson. The last time we dominated football was under the Alex Ferguson era. Of course, Alex Ferguson, did endure 26 years with Manchester United and that, developed a lot of players. Obviously, was always competitive in the transfer markets. That's been totally contrasting in the last 6 or 7 years or so because we haven't obviously recruited the right players in and stuff like that. Maybe these players, that we've got rid of in recent years that we shouldn't have got rid of. But we have made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years. Ferguson won a total of 38 major honours at Manchester United. But there again, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. Obviously, we did recommend him in from Aberdeen. So he didn't win anything from 1986 to 1990. And he was on the verge of getting the sack and that. The only mistake Alex Ferguson did make was ever recommending David Moyes in, but the main explanation why I recommended David Moyes in is because he was both Scottish and that. Obviously, Moyes enjoyed, 8 or 9 months with the football club. He's enjoyed the shortest tenure with Manchester United. And we knew it was never going to work out under the David Moyes era. I think, we actually finished 7th under the David Moyes era, the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. Obviously, we've sacked 3 managers anyway since the Alex Ferguson era. Moyes got sacked. Obviously, we had Van Gaal. He enjoyed 2 years at Manchester United. He did win his the FA Cup, but it still wasn't good enough for Man United. Then, obviously, we had Jose Mourinho. He enjoyed 2.5 years at the football club, did Mourinho. Did win 2 trophies in his first season, but again, wasn't good enough because we recommended Mourinho win too late. Maybe we should have recommended Mourinho win after, Ferguson retired and that. But Mourinho has still got a good pedigree behind him. But like I've said to you, the main explanations why it didn't work out under Jose Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players. The board weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in and that. And Mourinho did recommend a lot of players in. He spent nearly £400 million on 11 players, and take into account now Solskjaer's still inheriting the vast majority of Jose Mourinho's players because there's only a few that have left who Jose Mourinho recommended in. Obviously, a lot of the players that we had under Ferguson are no longer here now. I think we've only got Jones and David De Gea here now from the Alex Ferguson era, and like I've said, we've got Smalling and Rojo out on loan and that. There you go. But I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Man United works out. He has been here for nearly 17 months at the moment, so he has been at the football club now over a year, like I've said to you. My reservations about Solskjaer, like I've said before, he's inexperienced as a manager, but the longer he remains in the Man United job, he's going to be gaining more managerial experience in that. Obviously, before he was at Man United, he was at Molde, won a couple of Norwegian titles with them, and before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. he obviously got Cardiff relegated, and this is the main explanation, why he did get sacked from Cardiff and that. But credit Solskjaer's giving all the players their opportunities, because like he said, when he first got the Man United job, everybody would get their opportunities to express themselves. Solskjaer's got around, 2 years remaining on his contract with Manchester United and that. But we will see how it plans out next season. We do know that the football season is resuming on the 1st of June. The government have given permission for that to happen. Games will be played behind closed doors, and Solskjaer will be under pressure, to keep this good run of form up because, like I mentioned, we was in a good run of form before the football season that got suspended. We really, really wasn't that. Like I've said to you, we have got around 9 players' contracts that are due to expire next year and that, so that's something else, we do need to sort out. To be fair, though, a lot of players' contracts as well have been extended, since Solskjaer came in. Obviously, Rashford got a new long-term contract last year, so too David De Gea. Mason Greenwood got a contract early on this season. Juan Mata, don't forget, he signed a new contract last year. Matic signed a new 1-year extension. Chong signed a 2-year contract with an option of a further year. Victor Lindelof, he signed a new long-term contract earlier on in the season. He did. I think also too Scott McTominay did. Martial did. He's another player. So we have extended a hell of a lot of players' contracts, so that is a positive, you can take. But like I said, give Solskjaer more time at Manchester United. Give him more time. But next season, I expect us to enjoy a better season, than what we've enjoyed this season. I heard as well that FA Cup and Europa League games are going to be scrapped. They're going to be scrapped apparently. Because, Man United were in the last 8 of the Europa League and, we were into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. So let's just put that into the equation. Obviously, as you've seen on my recent videos that I've done today, I also give you the news on Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. Obviously, it did say, we're close to signing Saul Niguez for around £70 million. So you got the news on him. Also this morning, I give you the news, didn't I, on Angel Gomez. We are facing a dilemma on Angel Gomez and that. Because obviously, contract talks between Manchester United and Angel Gomez have hit a stumbling block. They've hit a stumbling block. And we've put forward quite a few contract offers for Angel Gomez. Obviously, we offered him one at the start of the season. We offered him a £25,000 a week contract. Then we offered him a £30,000 a week contract. Angel Gomez did reveal last month that he wants to stay at Manchester United and he wants to, win trophies at the football club, but we have not yet got him a new contract. And Angel Gomez's current contract does expire at the end of next month, so we are at risk of losing him on a free transfer. And Chelsea have expressed their interest in Angel Gomez and that. So there has been a lot of uncertainty over his future. I give you the news this morning as well on Carlos Vinicius from Benfica, because reports have been coming out from the Portuguese outlet Ebola saying that Man United have expressed their interest in him and that. So there has been so many players on our agenda. Obviously, you know the news on Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is now expected to stay at Manchester United because Juventus have become the first Italian club to own a salary cap. And reportedly now Juventus are only willing to offer contracts up to around £151,000 a week. And that so reflects on this now. Paul Pogba's transfer to Juventus is unlikely. It also mentioned in the mainstream media that Juventus can only sign Paul Pogba if Cristiano Ronaldo does retire. I think that was also stemming from the Sun and that. But I'm excited about the prospect of Paul Pogba playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield next when the season resumes, because I think they'll go very, very well together in our midfield. And Pogba and Bruno, what? All right. Pogba and Bruno Fernandes have not yet had the chance to play together in our midfield and that. Like I've said to you, swap deals have been on the agenda because, like I mentioned to you today and yesterday, there's been talks of Man United possibly swapping Pogba for Adrian Rabiot. Also, Aaron Ramsey got put into the equation. Also, Miralem Panjanic's been mentioned. Matty Silic got mentioned quite a while back and that. But swap deals are very, very rare in the modern game. Obviously, Real Madrid were relentlessly linked to him, especially last summer, but Real Madrid are no longer in now for Paul Pogba, reflecting on his wages and that. PSG and also to Inter Milan in recent weeks have expressed their interest in him. Don't forget, Paul Pogba's only played 8 times this season for the football club. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries and that, but Pogba has revealed his plans ahead of his return. He's aiming to be the best player in the world and that. But he has been infuriated with the injuries that he's had this season. But we confirm that if we're to sell Paul Pogba this summer, we want at least £100 million for the player. And Juventus are not willing to pay that. And they probably can't afford to pay that. So this is why they're willing to offer one or two of their players as part of the deal. It did confirm that Ed Woodward had lowered Paul Pogba's valuation from 150 to £100 million. By the way, Pogba's got exactly a year left on his Manchester United contract and that. But I do expect him to be at Manchester United next season. Not too sure though about the foreseeable future. So you do know the news on Paul Pogba and that. Obviously on my videos I've done in recent days as well, I've given you the news on Lautaro Martinez from Inter Milan. Says Man United have been in for him. Timo Werner, I think he's going to be going to Liverpool, so he's out of the equation because it does say, my club Man United have also been in for him. So there you go. So there you go and that. And like I've said to you before, I think a lot of players are going to stay at Manchester United. I really, really do because, we have got a lot of good players in our team. There's a lot of players I expect to stay at the football club. I think Martial will stay. I think Rashford will stay. I think McTominay will stay because he's had a good season. I think Fred will stay. He's also enjoyed a very, very good season at the club. I think Lindelof will stay. The signing Solskjaer recommended him will stay. Maybe not a Gallo, but the 4 other ones, will stay at the club. Luke Shaw will stay because he's done very, very well at left back from us since he came back from injury earlier on in the season. Probably Bay will stay as well, even though he's injury prone. But, when he plays, he's very, very good. Probably David De Gea will stay, even though there's been recent reports saying that Man United could sell him in the summer. So I do expect, a lot of players to stay at Manchester United. I really, really do. And so, anyway, guys, drop me comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.